Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the Obelisk Lounge. My name is Justice, and I am here with a little fun pick a card. I don't really do these often, but I feel like I want to start doing, well, not feel like, I am going to go ahead and start doing pick a card readings that center on self-development, and then another one that centers on self-empowerment. The self-development series are going to be maybe some information that you may not want to hear, but information that you may need so that you can grow, so that you can expand, right? That's the self-development series I'm going to be starting. And then with the self-empowerment series, this series is going to be for those like little pick me up messages, like the things about you that are great, you know, that you should continue to strengthen, you know, that you should put on display, or to activate, you know, certain empowering things within yourself so that you can, you know, live your best life. Now, with today's pick a card, when it comes to checking your blind spot, we want to look at those things that, you know, when you turn around, you may not see it. Okay. Something that you may be intentionally not seeing, or something that you might be avoiding. And so, yeah, this reading is going to be a part of the self-development series. So there might be some things that you might not want to hear, but you might need to hear it. Okay. And then, of course, this is a pick a card reading. So it's very general. So if you want to hear something that is more specific to you, or if anything that comes out in this reading that you find really calls to you, then you can book a personal reading and we can get even deeper into it. Okay. So go ahead and pick any number between 1 and 4. I don't have any, you know, little trinkets for you to choose. I just want you to use your intuition to choose the best pile for you. And so I'll stay silent for a little bit and then let you go ahead and pick your card. All right, so you can go ahead and pause if you need extra time, and then go ahead and fast forward to the deck that you choose, or the card that you choose. All right, so let's get started with group number 1. So your blind spot is card 17, okay? This sigil right here represents blame. So there is something that you are not taking accountability for, or something that you're not taking accountability for. And then also something that you might be blaming others for. So say, for instance, you know, your life has been a series of unfortunate events since you reached adulthood. You know, when we are children, there's not much that we can control, you know, when we are underneath our parent or our guardian's rule. But once we become an adult, and I'm not talking about like 18, 19, like that very young adult, like once you get into your 20s, okay, there are certain things that, you know, that we have to start being accountable for. And so you are struggling with taking accountability for a situation. Let's look and see what aspect of blame is plaguing you. For some people, I'm hearing it is discomfort in a job situation, like discomfort within your career. You feeling like the world is against you, you know, like when it comes to your career, things being too difficult, you know, for you to ascend to the position that it is that you want to be in. What is what area is blame and lack of accountability impacting this person's life? 3, 2, 1. And then before I actually move forward, I also want to point out that with this card, I also got a scenario of a parent, somebody of a parent who is not proud of the lifestyle that they have provided for their children. They wanted to give their children more, or they want to give their children more if their children are still young, and they feel very guilty about that. I'm picking up on somebody who got a divorce, or who wanted to have a solid family, you know, for their children. They actually waited to have children, and they thought they chose a suitable mate, but it just did not work out. There's just some incompatibility there, and so you need to release the blame on that. And whoever that person is for, or people, I see you being able to actually coming to contact or come into union with a relationship that is compatible. I'm seeing within I'm just gonna go ahead and say 5 to 10 years, you know what I'm saying, for something that is more stable and long term, which I know that that is a very long time. I mean, you know, do what you want to do, you know, in between time, but I do see that within the next 5 to 10 years, you'll have that. You'll have what it is that you're looking for. If you're into manifesting, you could probably manifest it to come a little bit quicker for you. But anywho, what did I just ask? Oh yeah, blame. So what section of blame? So yes, this is in regards to somebody's career. With the 10 of diamonds, the ace of spades, and the 6 of clubs, y'all feel like you have hit a dead end, you know, in your career. You feel like that there is, you want to make more money. You also want to have more power. Like for you in this case, is not necessarily just about the money. You just don't want the money, but you want the power and the prestige that comes along with that, and the accolades. And so that's something that is kind of getting in the way of you truly having a career that will make you happy, or a job that will make you happy. Because I'm seeing here is that you're so focused on reward and recognition from others, instead of, yeah, you're so worried on the receiving the reward and recognition for others, to the point where you are denying yourself of your own true passions, talents, and desires. And that is the source of your unhappiness. So look into, you know, doing some of your hobbies or your passions and things like that on the side, because our passions and our hobbies don't always make us, you know, the money, you know, that we want to make. But and so sometimes we do have to do things that we necessarily don't want to do in order to live in this world, right? And so in order to mitigate that, or a way to mitigate that, is to spend time with your passions. Create time for them. Creating time for them is like creating time for like your younger versions of yourself, not just childhood self, but younger versions of yourself, you know, not denying your younger self and even your current self of those joys and pleasures, those things that bring you joy and pleasure, that are not destructive to you. So if I'm picking up on somebody who maybe loves painting or wants to get into painting, somebody acrylic or water paint, something like that, in particular. I'm picking on somebody who who does calligraphy, or who is interested in calligraphy. Do that. Let me see, who else am I picking up on? I'm seeing somebody who likes to collect marbles, or who likes to play I don't know, some type of marble game. Not jacks, but I mean, it could be Jack, since I mentioned it. That can be somebody's, but this one is more so like some type of marble game where they like to collect marbles and like old, like antique things. So like go to antique shops and things like that on the weekend during your off time, you know. Maybe even join some, you know, antique collectors groups and different things like that, so that you can create friendships and relationships that are interested in those things. Let's see what else. Blame. Blame also speaks about people who obviously like to, you know, like to blame other people for, you know, their shortcomings in life. You know, because you didn't have it all in your childhood, you want to be upset with your parents, you know, even though you in your 40s, you know, you still talking about what your mama and your daddy didn't do. Well, what did you do for yourself? You 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? You 50 years old. You 30 years old. You 25 years old. What are you building and creating for yourself? You can't always blame your parents, you know, or blame other people. We have to think about the involvement that we took in that. And not saying now, when it comes to parents, outside of our soul contracts, and then the human side of me is going to say that we did not come, that we did not choose to come here, even though the spiritual side of me knows that that is not true and that's a lie. But in the grand scheme of things, we chose certain paths and things like that for a reason. And so one way for us to develop and to grow out of this blame mindset is to welcome blameless into your life. Okay. Just and that really just starts with just acceptance. We have to accept the things in life for just, we have to accept and come to terms with the past for just what the past is, because truthfully we can't control what happened in the past. We can't go back and change it necessarily. And so it's important that within our present moment we just deal with that accordingly. And so one thing that I want to ask you to ask yourself is, where is it in your life is blame impacting you? Are you still blaming your, blaming your significant other for doing XYZ or for that relationship ending? But it's like, okay, what role did you play in that relationship ending? So that's something that you need to really dive deep and ask yourself. And that's not to excuse anybody else from their involvement in, your detriment, because they should still be accountable for whatever it is that they cause. But we can't change other people, but we can for sure change ourselves. Right. And so it's just more so talking about taking responsibility. So in this regard, whoever this is for, this is talking about your career. If you're not happy with where you are, even if you are making the money that you want to earn, but you're not happy in your career, then what can you do to change that? Go and take a career interest survey or a personality analysis. Heck, book a reading, you know what I'm saying? And we can look into and see what career fields and things like that you need to explore. But what I'm seeing for the person who likes to collect antique things, maybe having like becoming like an antique shop owner, like an online collector of like different things, or opening up some type of mini museum, or or like a show, not like a museum, but like a showroom, or what are those things called? A pop-up, like a little pop-up, to express, yourself in that way. Let's see what else. Blame. How is blame impacting anybody else in this group? Elevated ancestors. Okay, this is a common one that a lot of people that we always see people doing, right? And this is the one I wasn't even going to talk about, because I'm like, people always, like a lot of people go through and experience that. But if you chose this pile, then you need to hear it. Blaming the person that you chose to have a child with, or children with, for not being the person that it is that you expected them or wanted them to be. Because this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that you, like, your family members told you that this person was no good. Your own intuition saw red flags that this person was no good. But I'm picking up that you were feeling very desperate. You really wanted some companionship. You really, or either you just wanted, or you wanted some companionship, or you just wanted sex. And so, because this is coming up from a few different people. Some people just wanted sex. Some people just genuinely just wanted companionship because they were tired of feeling lonely. They did not like being alone. And so they were very lonely. And so they just settled, for the next best person. And they thought that they were going to be able to provide for their child in the way that they wanted to, but now they realize that no, that child actually does need both of its parents. That child actually does need, this particular environment, a harmonious environment for them to grow up in. And so the message that I'm hearing my folks say, leave it. They saying leave it. Whatever it is, that guilt that you feel, you're going to have to go ahead and move past that so that you can rear your child up independently in the way that it should go. They said you can't keep on replaying shoulda, woulda, coulda in your head. Take the responsibility, be accountable, learn the lesson, and move forward. Because I'm seeing you, like, vacillate between, you know, oh, I should have did this, oh, I should have did this, oh, I couldn't have done that. And it's just like, you know, that is really just making your head hurt. So it's like, go ahead and just stop that. Like, I feel like I'm about to get like a migraine, and I'm somebody, I do not get migraines, but maybe you haven't been experiencing migraines. And so this is, it's just really causing extreme headaches, and you're going to make yourself sick with being so, guilt ridden. And so they're saying, yes, you messed up. Yes, you made a mistake. Yes, you missed all of those warning signs. However, now you know better. So now that you know better, go forth and do better. Okay, not only for you, but for your child as well, because you can still create the harmonious and loving environment that you want your child to have. You can create that to the best of your ability. It's not probably going to be to your personal standards, because you imagine to have all of this support and all of these different people around you doing it, and you didn't expect it to be as hard as it is. But with that being said, go ahead and do the best that you can. Recognize that you are doing the best that you can. And for this person that I'm talking to, or people that I'm talking to, your child is picking up on that energy, and they want you to be happy because they feel content and happy. And so them seeing you unhappy is almost like your baby is thinking, oh, well, should I be unhappy? Because I feel fine. Like, you know, it's like I see the child having like this internal thought saying, well, I feel fine, but my mama, or, you know, or my daddy, or whomever, you know, take it however it resonates and makes sense in your life, you know, it's so sad, got me about me not having this other parent. Should I feel bad about not having this other parent? I guess I do, you know, want to see and interact with the parent. I see some kids at school, you know, having these different parents, but I also see kids at school that don't have these other parents. They're in situations just like me. So maybe I should feel sad about this situation. Like my mom is feeling sad about it, or my dad is feeling sad about it. And so, that's the message for you, to just mind those things and just forgive yourself. Like, okay, you had a moment, and forgive yourself. Don't make the same mistake and move forward. Okay. And so that is pile number 1. I'm going to go ahead and move on to pile number 2. Thank you for tuning in. All right. Pile number 2. Pile number 2, y'all's card number is 37. And it is wishing and willing harm is what this sigil represents. So, I mean, that's pretty much self-explanatory. Your blind spot is, I feel like for some of you, you wishing and willing harm on other people is very intentional. I'm just gonna call a thing a thing. For some people, they don't realize the power that they have in their words. Like, they don't, like, for some people, like, they genuinely do not realize how powerful they are, you know, but they're using their power to wish ill will, you know, on people. But some of these people who don't feel like they're powerful though, but, you know, they're just, they have poor anger management. They are intentionally wishing ill on people. And so you need to fix that. Like, you got to go and tighten that up, you know, like, you can't just be out here just spewing things all willy-nilly. You need to go to an anger management class, and then you also need to figure out, why are you so quick to disparage people? Why are you so quick to wish death or sickness, you know, or loss, you know, on somebody? Like, do they really deserve it? Like, did they really do something that was a detriment to you and your own goodness and elevation in life, or any of your loved ones? Or are you just upset that they just cut you off in traffic? And I'm saying, and I'm asking these different questions because I'm not seeing any situation. I'm not picking up on it. I'm going to pull my playing cards and see, but I'm not energetically picking up on a situation where I feel like your ill wishes were necessary. You know, nobody was trying to attack you. Nobody was trying to steal or take from you or a loved one. So, you know, it was because I'm just seeing somebody who's just very hot-headed. Let's see. Tell me more about the group of people who chose wishing and willing harm. Tell me more about the people in this group. Ancestors. 3, 2, 6 of diamonds, 8 of spades, 4 of hearts. You're wishing and willing harm on other people is actually impacting you as well. And it's creating because I'm picking up on this is somebody who is not in the position in life where they really want to be. More so like they don't have the car it is that they want to have, like they don't have the companionship that they may want to have, like they don't have the freedom and leisure of time that they may want to have, and different things like that, because it's like some things are I hate to say, but some things are just backfiring, or you're just misspeaking them, on yourself. So like if you're somebody who has such a hard time, now I'm not talking about everyday people who, because we all go through things, right? We all have struggles and, and hardships and things that we have to overcome. But for this person in particular, or these group of people in particular, I'm seeing like a lot of things fail for you because of the hate and things like that you spew. This is also you wishing and willing. Some people, this message, they also do that to themselves. So they may not be so quick to do it to other people, but they do it to themselves. Like, like, oh, dang, like I'm so dumb. You know what I'm saying? Or dang, like watch me go over here and do this stupid old XYZ. Like, like almost like there's really cursing and hexing and willing these things, on themselves. So it's not even always to other people. For some of these people, this is a familial issue. I'm seeing an adult and a child in particular. You need to be mindful of what it is that you say to this child and how you speak to this child. Because I'm picking up that this child is like an ancient old one. And so they also have like ancient and old and wise guardian spirits and things like that around them. And so it's very imperative that you apologize and like sincerely apologize to this child or to these children that you may have been talking to crazy, and then not only apologize to them, but actually change your behavior. So really being mindful of the things that you say. You need to turn your curses and your hexes into prayers of goodness. You know what I'm saying? Instead of praying against, you know what I'm saying? Pray for, you know what I'm saying? And then if you are around people who are causing you to spew this venom, then you need to remove yourself from the situation. If you are living in a household where you are always arguing and fighting with your family, or with your roommates or whoever this situation is, you need to go ahead and make plans to move out so that you don't mess around and continue to mess your own life up and stop up your own life with all this craziness. Right? Because I'm seeing that for some of these people, y'all really aren't bad people. Like you don't have bad hearts. You just have a lot of hurt and pain in you. And I actually feel bad for you. And my intentions are not to scold you. So I pray, that you don't feel as if I'm scolding you, but this is the self-development series. So it's going to be information that people may not want to hear, but it's stuff that they need to hear so that they can develop and grow into the highest expressions of themselves in this lifetime. And so you need to make the necessary changes. I'm feeling like this may be a roommate situation or like a very volatile relationship. And you need to just go ahead and move. You need to go ahead and make those plans and move. And I'm seeing that it's hard, but it's also hard because yes, the truth is, I'm seeing that your finances are lacking, or the opportunity to live in a place where it is safe for you is lacking. That's what I'm seeing. Isn't a lot of options within your tax bracket, but in order to go but you need to start speaking, but you need to start speaking goodness. You know what I'm saying? go back to the old saying, you know, my grandmama used to always say that, you know, what did she say in particular? Something about our words. I say it all the time, but it's escaping me now. Dang it. What did Grandma Ruby say? Grandma Ruby, what did you say? What did you say? What did you say? What did you say? Not power, not life and death lies in the power of the tongue, but basically something along those lines. I don't know how, I just forgot, but that's a saying that that has always stuck with me growing up when it comes to saying and speaking certain things, even about myself, but and then also others as well, because you know our words can manifest. Like, we don't necessarily need no candles, we don't necessarily need, you know, no herbs or any of those things, because we have our chi, our ashe, our ka, all of these different, you know, forms of energy within, you know, our belly that literally manifests. Like, it comes up through, you know, our body, and we speak it out of our mouth, and we can either be spewing sweet water, or we can be, you know, spewing, you know, poisonous venom. And so sometimes that poisonous venom is necessary when we are needing to protect ourselves or to protect a loved one. But if it's uncalled for, like genuinely uncalled for, you're not in danger, you're just offended, you know, you're not threatened, you're just offended, you know, or feel disrespected. It ain't like, you got to be able to discern when it's necessary to spew your venom or keep it to yourself. You don't always have to, you know, share your sweet water with anybody, but you also need to know, okay, am I gonna spew venom? I'm gonna get sweet water if I ain't gonna say nothing at all. And so that is the lesson I feel like y'all are learning. That you are learning, because on the inside you are aware. You're very aware. Like, you're not unaware that you should not be saying crazy stuff. You know, you don't need to be saying crazy stuff. You know, you don't. You know what I'm saying? So just don't practice not saying anything at all. You know, one of the advice that one of my former spiritual teachers gave me, she said, after every practice for like an hour every day, after every sentence you say, after every word you say ashe after it, because ashe is a manifested. That's like saying amen, right? You putting your seal of approval on it. Like, I want what I'm saying to activate and manifest right now, expeditiously, is what you're saying when you say ashe or amen or any of those things. And so practice doing that, and that will help clean up your vocabulary and the way that you speak to people really quickly, because you're gonna realize, oh, I'm throwing up roadblocks in my own way. You know, you got to be careful too, because, you know, like I said, that child that you talking crazy to is an ancient one, and they got some sauce. They don't know it yet, but they got some sauce. So you need to be careful not to get yourself, you know, messed up in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually messed up in these streets, even more so often what you already are. You know what I'm saying? Even more so off than you already are, because you think your life may be looking kind of bad now, but if you continue to move how you move, and especially now that you didn't watch this reading, you're more aware of it now. It's not in your blind spot anymore. Now you got to move forward with correction, and you can move forward with correction. Follow the advice I just gave you with saying ashe or amen, whatever, you know, seal of, or even namaste, whatever it is that you want to say, so it is, whatever resonates with you, say that after everything that you say for an hour every day, and watch how quickly you clean up your speech. So if you want to know more about this, or if you need even further help and guidance, feel free to book a reading with me. The information is in the description box. And I pray, you know, for your evolution, you know, that you evolve, you know, into the person, into the people, whoever, you know, this applies to, that you're supposed to be in this lifetime. And so, you know, your highest will be done. Ashe. All right. Let's move on to group 3. All right, group 3, y'all have this sigil. This is card 8, and this is talking about bypassing. Bypassing. Let me sit with this for a little bit. You stick your head in the sand. You ignore your intuition. You ignore red flags. Even if you know, you may even ignore yellow flags, because I'm not saying that it necessarily is always in like an extreme situation, like entering a poor relationship, or streaking in the street, butt naked, at 12 a.m., not anything extreme, but it can just be, your intuition told you to take a left turn today to go to work instead of taking a right turn. And then next thing you know, you get a fender bender, or something like that. So it can just be something as, as small as that. So it's very important that you listen to that little small voice. So your blind spot is like your own intuition, your own discernment. And I'm even going to go further and say your spiritual team, your spiritual court, you ignoring any advice, any warnings and things like that they give you. And even if it's not a warning, say for instance, they just tell you to do something that's going to be good for you today. Like, go to the gym, at this hour, and you're going to meet, somebody that can help you with XYZ, or advertise this, on your social media, and you're going to attract this many people, so just even following that advice is your blind spot. You're bypassing it. You're just like, oh, okay, it'll come back around again, or, oh, I got time to do, XYZ, or, oh, I don't even hear that. I'm going to go ahead and just do, right here what's in front of my face. That type of blind spot. So, elevated answers, how can this person remedy this situation? Oh, look, I ain't got, they said just by listening. Just by listening. And they're also saying to slow down, because I feel like you're somebody you're probably a fast talker like me. I've worked really hard to slow down by talking, but I still talk really fast. Like my mind goes a mile a minute. And so you're somebody who probably talks really fast, or you're always just go. Like you almost don't give yourself time to rest or to relax or to think about a decision before you make it. You can also be, I feel like, somebody that's very impulsive. So even if you're not like very busy, because you have your hands in so many different pots, or because, you're working, probably got kids, probably got another job, probably going to school, probably doing, XYZ. And so this could also be somebody, I feel like, that is, like I said, impulsive and a little bit irresponsible. And so you need to learn to be more responsible with your time, with your energy. And even I'm hearing with your money, like I feel like somebody spends too much time being idle, but not in the right way. If you you need to embrace stillness, but stillness in a way that is not idle. Okay, stillness and idleness are not the same thing. Idleness is when we just kind of allow just kind of anything to just come and go, or we allow ourselves to be distracted. But when we are still, we're listening. When we are still, even if we're not listening, we're just calming things around us. We're thinking before, we act. And so this is somebody who needs to think before they act. What can they do to further remedy the situation unless there's something further? Slow down, think, and ask questions. Don't be so quick to jump into situations and make decisions when you don't have enough information. That's where your value lies. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's actually, that's it. Let me see. Is there anything else that I'm picking up on? This was the shortest group. Group 1 and 2 were kind of long. But this one, that's pretty much it. I see you overcoming. Like, this is a minor issue that you have. This is something that you'll be able to quickly remedy. It's just, you just need to tie up a few loose ends. But I honestly see, yeah, like it's a small issue that you have. Pile 1 and 2 had some bigger and heavier issues. Okay, so just be grateful that this your pile, and that is this short. But this is something that you can just quickly remedy by just slowing down, practicing stillness and mindfulness each and every day. At least give yourself 5 minutes to just slow down each and every day. And then just increase that time gradually, day by day or week by week, and be intentional about increasing that time, because it's something that you need. It's a blind spot that you have. And for you in particular, I'm seeing that it's just something that you just ignore. Like, you're aware, but you just kind of ignore it. So just continue to practice that. And if you have already been practicing that, then kudos to you. Good job. Keep up the good work. Okay. Because I'm not seeing anything terrible here. Just continue to do, if you haven't been doing it, start doing it. If you've already been doing it, continue to do it. And so that is your message, pile number 3. I'm going to go on to pile number 4. Thanks for tuning in. All right, pile number 4 got sigil 62. Okay, Saturn. Something about some lessons. Some Saturn energy. Oh, denying death. Card 62. And isn't Saturn rules lessons, endings, not necessarily death, but just hardship. So in this case, death is more so Pluto energy. So in this case, denying death. So struggling to let go. Struggling to let go. For some of you who chose this card, some of you may still be grieving a recent loss, or even a loss from years ago. I'm feeling like somebody in particular may be grieving somebody that they lost during childhood. So like a parent or a grandparent, when things were going very, very well in your life. I feel like this is a season of your life where things are just so light and so good and so sweet. And then next thing you know, this very untimely experience happened to you. And so you have my condolences. I don't care how long ago it was. Physical transitions of loved ones can be very, very difficult. And so, peace, and blessings, to you and your loved ones. But this is something that is, if you're angry for no reason, sometimes this is the reason. You feel like, oh, but this happened so long ago, or I wasn't even that close to this person, or why is this, still affecting me, because you just need to continue to deal with it and just not rush, your healing process. There's no time limit, it really is no time limit, on those things. And so just maybe connect with like a grief counselor if that resonates. If this particular message on this card resonates with you, connect with a grief counselor if you can. Maybe even just, talk to a friend or family member about it. If you can't afford a grief counselor or anybody like that, talk to a friend or family member about it. Be like, hey, I was just thinking about so-and-so and it still hurts me. And if you break down crying, just cry. If you want to scream, just scream. Like, this is something, it's causing a lot of pent up anger with you. And I feel like you're very angry with God, angry with spirit, like whatever, higher spirit, that you resonate with, just very angry. And so you don't realize that that's what it's stemming from, but that is what it's stemming from. Also, I feel like some people who may be going through a divorce, or maybe who recently divorced, you're a little, and when I say this word, it is not to insult or to offend you. okay? Because we all can have remnants of this, okay? But bitterness, it can just be something that just left a really sour taste in your mouth and you just having a hard time moving past it. And then for some other people, it can just be a culmination of just different things, you know, that happen throughout the years, very poor interactions, you know, letdowns and stuff like that that you experienced that is getting in the way, you know, of these different things. I'm not saying that you're having any issues in your life in particular, but like any material issues where it's impacting, but it's more so just you're angry and you sometimes don't know why you're angry. I feel like you may have even a tough time sometimes sleeping, whether you, even if you work at night or or you work during the daytime, whatever hours you are supposed to be sleeping, you have a really hard time doing that. And it's because you got to deal with this grief. You got to deal with this loss of either, you know, your marriage not working out, or this loss, you know, of a loved one. You need to deal with it. For some of these people that chose this deck, I feel like it's different people that maybe you work with that insulted you, or different friend groups that may have insulted you intentionally or unintentionally. In some way they've offended you, and so you're kind of harboring, you're harboring on to that hate, to that anger, that disdain, that discomfort. And so you gotta release that. Oh, I feel so sorry for y'all in this group. And not like in a way, I pray that doesn't offend you with me saying, you know, I feel y'all have like my sympathy and things, because, you know, it can be so tough, you know, overcoming certain things in life, you know. It can be so tough and it's not easy. And when it is tough, or even before it gets tough, it's so important for you to implore help. If you don't have a friends or family members that you can talk to, then sometimes you have to pay for that help. Okay. And even if you do have your friends and family members, you don't want to, you want to have a variety of different people, you know, who are, you know, who just love you, but then also people who are professionals in different ways to help you combat these things. A divorce counselor is a thing that just came to me. So if this is a situation of with a divorce, or even like a breakup, but I'm more so feeling like a divorce, you need to talk to a divorce counselor. And it's okay. They're saying specifically, my team is saying specifically, don't let people around you make you feel bad for grieving your divorce or wanting to have remained married. Don't feel bad about that. Like they're saying, because they had their moment of sadness too. They just like to put on and act like they not sad about it. But they sad. They're sad. They're disappointed. So have your moment and probably don't talk to those people about what it is that you're feeling as much, because I feel like they want you to rush and get over this person and get under another one, instead of really just dealing with, you know, what has just transpired in your life and grieving it appropriately. So elevated ancestors, for the people that chose this card, how can they remedy this situation? 3, 2, 1. Oh. This 6 of diamonds just gonna keep popping up, and y'all, I shuffle. It is 8 of spades. Okay, so this is similar to the same combination that the last one got, but just rearranged. But 6 of diamonds, ace of diamonds, and the 8 of spades. For some of you, I feel like doing some type of past life regression will help you come to terms with different things, because I feel like this is a very karmic thing, or things or a thing that you kind of deal with from lifetime to lifetime. Like when it comes to there probably being like a lot of death around you, or you experiencing deaths, prominent deaths in your family or with loved ones at a very young age, or even for some people who in different lifetimes have experienced an untimely because this is what so I'm just saying it because this is what's coming up, and untimely passing of a spouse, in particular. I don't want to say Black Widow because I feel like that just has a negative and offensive, that it can have a negative and an offensive connotation to it. So I don't want to say that, but you need to do some type of past life regression, some type of like past life healing. I offer Akashic record readings, and so we can explore your past life through the Akashic records as well. And so since this is coming up as a prominent issue for you, go to the description box and click on the Akashic records link so you can learn more about it on my website, and then also book a reading whenever you get the chance so that we can kind of deal with this. Or you can kind of deal with this, but I'll just support you in dealing with it and get the information that you need from it. Because it's something that's it's just like a perpetual karmic cycle. And for some of you, even just, in this lifetime as a whole, I don't know if y'all are like Pluto returns or something like that. But transitions are just very prominent for you. But there is sweetness on the other side of your suffering. I sat down just really quickly because I know this is going to help this group in particular. Recently, I went to one of my spiritual priests to take care of some things, and in the spiritual system that I practice, the main archetype of that spiritual system said that specifically that there is, on the other side of suffering, there is sweetness. And so suffering, is just a necessary thing in life. And so I just felt like y'all needed to hear that message too. Like, we can't avoid it. We can't just stick our heads in the sand, and ignore it. We can for a little while, but it's still going to be there. And so we just kind of have to deal with these things, especially for this group in particular. Like, it's like a lot of anger, but it's like a different type of anger from group one. Like, it's a very hurt and disappointed type anger, because you keep losing things, or you have a hard time achieving the things that it is that you want to achieve, and you just don't understand what is this block in the way. And so that's what it is. So you can remedy this situation. You need to get some past life things resolved so that you can go ahead and move forward in this lifetime. And on the more mundane side of things, you need to specifically talk to a grief counselor. And if you're going through a divorce counselor. You got to talk to those type of people, okay? So that they can help you and shop around, do the work and shop around for the right one that's going to fit you so that you can overcome what it is that you're going through, okay? What it is that you are experiencing. And so with that being said, this is the end of the reading. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. I pray that, I pray just for peace and healing, for this group and really for all of the groups. And so thank you for tuning in. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.